We have been working with you on healing, transforming, shifting, and being at peace with family relationships. We have focused thus far on many ways to do so. And we would offer a differing perspective this evening. One of the things that may have become apparent to you in our teachings is that every family relationship that you experience is an aspect of your relationship with God. And we would repeat this. Every family relationship that you experience is an aspect of your relationship with God. And we will offer examples of this. If an aspect of your consciousness has come to earth to heal feelings that you have been abandoned by God, that aspect of your consciousness is likely to choose a parenting situation where you feel abandoned by a parent, either physically or emotionally. For this parental dynamic makes you aware of what you would call your abandonment issues, triggering you to seek healing for these abandonment issues. And although an aspect of your ego consciousness then believes that you are healing abandonment issues with a parent, on a deeper level, your soul is healing abandonment issues that it has had with God. If an aspect of your consciousness comes to earth to heal an energy of feeling unloved by God, that aspect of your consciousness is likely to choose a parenting situation where the parent is not fully able to love the child as necessary. Yet again, giving the child an opportunity to examine, bring into awareness, examine, and heal energies that feel unloved or unworthy of love. Or the child may choose family situations where what you call sibling rivalry cause the child to believe that they are not favored, not preferred, not good enough, or that they must compete for the scarce commodity called love. We could go on and on, But one of your spiritual teachers has said it best. In truth, there is only you and God in the room. Everything and everyone else is a prop God would use to invite you back home. So everything is a lesson God would have you learn, that you might remember that you are loved and one with God, and God loves you and lives in you as you. Now, in this background and with this context, another way to approach healing family relationships. For as we have often advocated, some of the most effective work in healing family relationships is done from our realm, not necessarily from the realm of your ego, where the wounds may be so deep that the wounds inhibit the effectiveness of healing. So another way that you might work with healing family relationships is by working on your relationship with God. And one of many ways to do this might be to ask of any family relationship that you would like to heal, to ask, what aspect of my relationship with God does this show me? What aspect of my relationship with God does this show me? And once you are clear on this, you go to God and heal it with God and renew, deepen, and broaden your relationship with God. We would repeat this for clarity. If you are having a particularly challenging family relationship, you might ask, what aspect of my relationship with God does this family relationship show me? And then go to God and heal this aspect of your relationship with God. Now, the channel at times is fond of a phrase. The channel often uses this phrase as it relates to a way to release frustration when your creative process, when your manifestation process seems to be thwarted temporarily. And the channel is fond of using the phrase, if at first you don't succeed, cuss God out. Meaning, vent your anger, your frustration, your rage, your sadness, your sense of betrayal, your sense of futility, your sense of loss, or anything unlike love, expressing it to God as an aspect of your healing through the process of emotional release. And we would use vernacular here. Get it off your chest, for this is an energy that has been contracted in your heart chakra or in all of your Shakti. Get it off your chest by releasing it. And then you become lighthearted because light then fills your heart in the void that was left as you released that unlike love. So if at first you don't succeed, cuss God out is symbolic of releasing to God in order to recalibrate your relationship with God. God, I have felt abandoned. I have felt you didn't care. God, I have felt betrayed. I have felt you were not there for me. God, I have felt unloved. I felt that you did not love me. Whatever it is that your family relationship is showing you about your relationship with God, take this to God, release this to God, discuss this with God, allow the grace of God and the presence of God to embrace this part of you as you release. And as you do so, you heal, you align, you soothe this aspect of yourself. And as more and more of your energy becomes more fully aligned with the energy of God, more of you is at one with God and God's love and God's grace and God's peace and God's good. And more of you can allow God's good. So talk it out with God, walk it out with God, work it out with God, release it to God so that God can tell you the truth where you have been seduced by a lie, where you have been seduced by the lie that God had abandoned you and was not with you. You can become cradled by the truth that God is with you always and nothing shall separate you from the love of God, except your mind and its illusions. And since it was an illusion, it really didn't separate you from the love of God. You just thought this to be the case temporarily. You had a case of temporary amnesia, believing you were separate from God. And this process of taking it to God can heal your relationship with God. And that energy can by default fall upon your family relationships, enabling them to heal. We find in the channel's consciousness and imagery that would depict this. In one of the channel's favorite movies, The Wizard of Oz, there is a scene where the four main characters on a journey to Oz fall asleep in a poppy field. And then snow is sprinkled to awaken them before they perish. So imagine that this process would sprinkle the snow of love on your family relationships, rewiring you and rewiring them. Because as you heal, that vibration contributes to the healing of others, and that healed vibration contributes to the healing of family patterns as well. So this is a way to work with family relationships by working with and healing your relationship with God. And some of you might find this to be more efficient or effective because unlike certain family members, God will not snap back at you in ego attack. Do you understand this? And God is always available, whereas certain family members may not be, either physically or emotionally available for the healing. So take a moment to take this in. Take a moment to take this in.